Part 8. Why was the Ethiopian Bible rejected and banned? Now here's where things really get heated. You might be wondering, if the Ethiopian Bible is so rich, ancient and full of wisdom, why haven't we all read it by now? Why is it missing from the mainstream churches? Why are pastors not quoting from it? And why isn't it sold on every bookstore shelf next to the King James Version? Well, buckle up, because the answers are coming right now. The Ethiopian Bible was never part of the Western religious agenda. Why? Because it didn't conform to the official narrative crafted and polished over centuries in Europe. Let's break it down. It didn't fit the political theology of the West. During the Council of Nicaea, and later councils that shaped official Christian doctrine, leaders cherry-picked texts that supported their theological and political interests. Anything that questioned the divinity of Christ in a different way, spoke about reincarnation, had too much mysticism, or empowered people to think outside the clergy, was tossed aside. So, the Ethiopian Bible? Well, it had all those problematic ingredients. It included texts like the Book of Enoch, which, honestly, talks about angels coming to Earth and having children with humans, like a real-life sci-fi movie. It also had the Book of Jubilees and the rest of the Book of Tobit. These books, they had too much depth, too many secrets, and a spiritual narrative that really went beyond your typical sin and salvation storytelling. It actually contradicted the King James Version and other Western Bibles. Let's keep it real. Religious leaders in the West didn't want too many versions of the Bible floating around. It would just create confusion. Worse still, it would weaken the authority of the church. So they settled on the King James Version, locked it down as the Word, and pushed everything else, including the Ethiopian Bible, to the margins. You can imagine the shock when scholars discovered that Ethiopia had been preserving a much older, more complete, and significantly different biblical tradition. The Ethiopian Bible made it clear that Africans didn't receive Christianity from the West. In fact, it was the other way around. Ethiopia had the faith before Europe, kept the ancient scriptures, and never changed them to suit political or colonial ambitions. This threatened the entire image of white saviorism and colonial Christianity. How can you colonize people and tell them you're bringing them religion when they had it before you? Awkward, right? It was simply too powerful. The knowledge in the Ethiopian Bible is honestly revolutionary. It tells us things like, Jesus traveled to Egypt and Ethiopia. There were prophecies hidden outside the usual canon. And, the early Hebrews had deep connections with African civilizations. The spiritual technologies and divine laws mentioned in these lost books were meant to liberate the mind, not control it. This isn't just Sunday school material, it's spiritual dynamite. And those in power, they knew it. Despite being ignored by the Western world, the Ethiopian Bible never died out. Thanks to Ethiopia's resistance to colonization and its deeply spiritual Orthodox Christian tradition, the Ge'ez manuscript survived. They were copied by monks, protected in monasteries, and passed down through generations, preserved like hidden treasure. And now, with modern translations and digital libraries, the world is just beginning to rediscover what was almost lost forever. In Part 9, we'll dive into what's actually inside those 81+ books of the Ethiopian Bible, especially the ones you've never heard of before. We'll explore what they say about the missing years of Jesus, secrets of the ancient prophets, and the wisdom that could revolutionize how you see faith, history, and Africa itself. Let's keep unlocking the truth they tried to bury.